from downtown. Well, anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I don't know about you, but I love to go ghost hunting with the boys, fire up Phasmophobia on a weekend. There's nothing like dropping into one of these fine establishments and figuring out that yes, in fact, it's a mimic. But hey, you tried. And I heard that there is an update to the Bleasdale farmhouse. A total overhaul of the map. It's one of the ones we go to often, so I figure, maybe I'll have a look around it, see if we can figure out what's different about it. Let's go ahead and load in on amateur to have a better chance to look around, and because I'm an amateur. Okay, before I jump into the map, let me just say that the new Bleasdale farmhouse is actually part of a larger series of updates they're doing this year that will transform the game pretty significantly. One of those changes is called Chronicle, which changes how you record evidence from photos and videos, and they will include sound recorder evidence as well. Should be kind of interesting. They are keeping tight-lipped about a few secret features as part of this, but overall it seems like a way to kind of enhance the investigation, so you're not just focused on figuring out which ghost it is, but more documenting good evidence along the way. Another thing they're working on that they're not saying too much about yet is this idea of overhauling the player characters themselves. Rather than choosing from the same couple templates, they're actually going to refresh the character models, improve the animations, and just overall make the player characters a little better. With any luck, they'll still let us do that trademark 90-degree backbend. Call my chiropractor. They've teased more customization options since sometime last year, I think. Our other favorite farmhouse, Grafton, is also on the docket for a rework. Considering that and Bleasdale, in my mind, were almost easy to confuse with one another. They were so similar in feel. Interested to see if Grafton remains kind of a rundown farm, because Bleasdale, as you'll see soon, certainly isn't. There's also a secret map coming, a small map. They aren't saying much about this one either, only that it's different from anything you've seen so far in the game, and it's comparable to the size of the houses, so I'll be curious to see what that could be. And finally, your typical seasonal events, Easter, Halloween, and I assume the end of the year holiday season. But enough about that. Let's go to Bleasdale. A beautiful traditional house in the woods. It's a shame. I missed the rest of that. Okay. Well, it sure does look beautiful. Is that a life-size chessboard? Even just taking a look before we step inside here. Sorry about the glare on the monitor. Let's get that out of the way. It looks like there's actually a couple pretty interesting things right out of the gate. There's a courtyard on the west side of the establishment that could be kind of interesting to check out. Maybe a gate of some sort. And then it looks like kind of like one of those peace gardens or some fancy landscaping, calm your mind type of place. So honestly, I'm really excited to check it out because this is way different already. Bleasdale, as you might remember, it looked like it was basically falling apart. Now, we have a motion sensor light. That's cool. Okay, so even just walking in, we're already looking at a much nicer, well-finished room here. Way more lavish, way more inviting. The old Bleasdale had beer cans scattered everywhere, trash left all around. Now we enter this beautiful looking entryway with pretty normal looking pictures. We have a closet here, which might be good for hiding. Lovely picture of Aunt Bertha. To travel west from the entrance, I believe this was the dining room in the last one. It looks like they kept it that way, but get a light on here. It's actually more of a living room, complete with a series of beautiful decorative plates. Bunch of interactable cabinetry to enhance your poltergeist experience. They seem to be in the middle of a tea party when the house was abandoned. And here we have the music box. Okay. Yeah, Phasmophobia, with many of its maps, had a way of kind of making places look a little rundown or uninviting, but this place is kind of breaking the mold. Now, one thing they said they did differently was that they made some of these light switches be on three-way circuits. So you don't actually have to go back to the exact switch you hit to turn the lights off, and it should let you do it from here. That'll be nice, given that you can only have a couple switches on at a time. Nice big laundry room here. Probably another great place to hide. Here's a divot. Oh, and a hypnotizing, wavy ceiling pattern. They spared no expense. I'm liking the layout. It kind of breaks the mold of the old one, which was big and open, but kind of took a long time to walk through. You felt like you weren't getting anywhere. And no light switch up here, but we do have a desk lamp in a very dark room. There we go. So, if I'm tracking correctly, I think we're pretty close to the back of the house now. We have a large square bathroom. Fully functional, ready to be used. The lights may go out on their own. I actually don't know where the circuit is. Better go find that. Oh, we hit 10. We hit an activity at 10, okay. Amateur apparently means something different. Good thing to know for the future anyway. Where is the fuse box? It's like second floor in a bathroom. Possibly. This is a big spot. Okay, so this map, by the way, is now considered a medium map. I don't believe the original Bleasdale was. The other things they said about it is that there's plenty of interactable items within the map. So I think the map just breathes more, it lives a little bit more than some of the original maps, including the original Bleasdale. Let's see if we can work our way through the dark here and find out where that bathroom with the fuse is. It's so eerie walking through this when it's completely redesigned, and I can't actually see the rooms around me. It should be right here. Maybe on the other side of the wall? There you are. Let there be light. Oh, I wish I hadn't seen that. Not only is there a colossal spider there, but that attic looks very unappealing. But we're here, so let's check it out. This is somehow worse than the last attic. You have a rocking chair. Start tilting back and forth at the beginning of our nightmares, our collective nightmare together. Precariously stacked boxes. And even this curtain of beads, which supposedly moves not only when you go through it, but when the ghost goes through it. Yeah, I gotta say, that's a step and a half beyond anything that Phasmophobia has really had before. It's typically kind of been a stiffer environment. Fun to play, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the kind of game where you think things would kind of move underneath your feet. This is cool, though. They clearly put a lot of work into it. Edgefield, that's one of the other maps. These are names of some of the ghost types. Yeah, it's kind of like exactly the type of place you would expect more of a paranormal-oriented person to live. Now, these don't appear to be collectible versions of voodoo cards, but they are there. Just be aware. Yeah, this is nice. There's a lot of detail here. Potion making, animal breeding, perhaps. I think that's where the spider used to live, which, again, very comforting. Oh. And even some nice colored lights. Yeah, it's really cool, the amount of attention they put into the atmosphere. I actually believe somebody used to live here. And there's just so much to it, too. But it doesn't feel as overwhelming as some of the other large maps. Now, of course, it's a medium map, but some of the other medium maps, even. And Phasmophobia just kind of feel, I think because maybe they're more linearly designed or something like that, like it's going to take a long time to get through them. And they've done a real nice job in not having that be the case. We're putting halberds and pikes up now. There's a lot going on in this house. There's a nice big study up here on the second floor. A regular-sized chess game. And a hot cup of coffee. Is that ghost activity? Keeps the coffee warm? Because if so, I want it. There appears to be a place for a gun. Please let us kill the ghosts this time. I've got revenge to seek. But, very cool room. You can tell there's a lot they can work with here. Mannequins. Wonderful. This room seems to be more of a... I don't know exactly. Bedroom, I guess. That looks half study, half bedroom. And you know, this is important, of course, when you're using the Ouija board, asking the ghost what its favorite room is. To have some idea what rooms there are to choose from. Yeah, very nice. I wonder if you can hide in some of these. No, not there. It's an incredible aesthetic, though. There's a bit more to see before we call it a wrap here. Ah, yes, the fireplace room. Now, the shape of it has changed, of course. It doesn't branch off to the right side anymore. But for those who've been in Bleasdale a couple times, you probably still feel it's a little similar. We have a cigar that's already lit. Now, looking at the update notes, it does sound like the ghosts are able to start fires on candles and other burnable things that the player's not holding, which should give a lot more dimension to, again, just the environment. Now, this is me just clicking on the piano, so actually it's pretty cool that they've programmed in quite a bit more music that you can play. Another cigar burning. Wonder if that's a clue or if that's just a standard part of the map. And finally, the dining room. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty cool. You never really know how the maps play until you play them, of course. But I'm quite optimistic. What a big gourd. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, they really went a long way in making this place feel realistic. And I also say, like, Phasmophobia has had issues in the past running as smoothly as you would want it to. Even on a good computer, just something about it. I left the sink on. My bad. Last thing to check out is what was going on in the garden around the establishment. You know... Oh, a motion light. Nice. So they have a couple. With the other maps, there was never really a fear that the ghost could follow you outside. Outside was safe. Normally home is safe. Phasmophobia, it's the opposite. You gotta go outside to be safe. There doesn't seem to be another motion light out here. But you can get a general sense of just a lot of good landscaped foliage. And it leads into this porch area. Not sure what that light does. Every house has got one mystery light. You know, one of the other things they say that they've changed is that the paintings tend to fall off the wall more realistically. I'll see if I can manipulate some, maybe. I can't make it happen right now. But I'll be curious to see what that's like. Apparently a lot's been going on. Anyways, a final touch here. Let's just see what cameras are built into the map. We have the one at the entryway, which you probably recognize from the front door step. Then it looks like one back by that shed I opened. That's on the west side of the house. And finally one in the back porch where they have the table. So there you have it. That's the new Bleasdale map. Looking forward to get some reps into this one. And that'll do it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if this was helpful at all to you, and we'll catch you with the next video. Bye. And then in the back it says cruelty free. What are other companies doing with their shredded wheats?